obstacles. In this beautiful day, I would like to welcome our speaker, Dr. Sultan Emir Hidayat, MBA, Direktur Infrastruktur Ekosistem Syariah from Komite Nasional Ekonomi dan Keuangan Syariah, Honorable Mr. Serzot Ismailov, Economic and Commercial Counselor of the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan to the Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Mr. Muzaffar Abdul Azimov, Second Secretary for Political and Economic Issues of the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan to the Republic of Indonesia. And also honorable to Dr. Prima Naomi, the Acting Rector of Paramadina University, Honorable Dr. Fatia E. Kertamuda, Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs, and Dr. Handi Riza, Vice Rector for Resource Management of Paramadina University. Okay, to open this lecture, I would like to invite Dr. Fatia E. Kertamuda to give her welcoming remarks. Ibu Fatia, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dewi. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I know maybe in Uzbek is about 11 o'clock in the morning. Is it right? Okay. Yes, in Indonesia is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I hope this time is okay for both of us. Again, I would like to say that I represent the acting Chancellor of Paramadina University, Ibu Prima Naomi. She didn't come in this virtual meeting today, so I represented to say thank you and appreciation to all participants here. And also thank you to representative Embassy of Uzbekistan, Indonesia. And also thank you to all speakers, Bapak Sultan Emir. Thank you for coming with Paramadina. This is your first time in Paramadina. I hope you will be continue to meeting with us in the next future. And also Mr. Serzot Ismailov. Mr. Thank you to be in here with our Paramadina in this webinar. And also thank you to Bapak Handi as a Vice Rector Universitas Paramadina. And thank you to participant, student, lecturer who attended in this conference from both from Paramadina and also from Uzbek participants. And this event is follow up from our discussion a couple weeks ago between Paramadina University and Republic of Uzbekistan that is represented by Mr. Muzaffar Abdul Azimov. Mr. Muzaffar, are you here now? And he's a here. Okay, thank you. Because from a couple weeks ago, we can realize our collaboration in here. And also from discussion, we agreed that we have several activities to establish cooperation between two parties, Paramadina and Uzbekistan. And is the first in our start. This conference is the start of joint activities between Paramadina University and Uzbekistan. Maybe I hope in the next future we have another activities that we can join together. I hope today's event will provide benefits for both of Indonesia and also Uzbek, and we can establish cooperation in the future. And again, thank you for the all participation today, and I hope you will enjoy the discussion and the conference today, and thank you for your attention, and be happy to join this event. And stay healthy and stay happy for all of us. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ibu Fatia, for your welcoming remarks. And now I would like to invite Mr. Muzaffar Abdul Azimov, Second Secretary for Political and Economic Issues of the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan to the Republic of Indonesia, to give his remarks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Participants, Excellency Ms. Fatia, Excellency Mr. Sultan Emir Hidayat, Excellency Ande Reza, ladies and gentlemen, all the participants of today's event. For us, it's a great honor to hold our first event between Uzbekistan and Indonesia, particularly with the Paramadina University, on our mutual cooperation, on the future of our mutual cooperation, particularly in Sharia economy. Based on the recent meeting with Paramadina University, we decided to start our first step of our cooperation by holding the webinar, topic of which is very interesting for both sides. We know Indonesia as a leading country where the government institution and certain related institutions, they are implementing the Sharia economy principles. At the same time, I would like to mention that Uzbekistan, new country, new republic, independent country, we are now actively working on the possibilities in the future of the implementing of the Sharia economy. Well, in this sense, I really do hope and I really do believe that the Indonesian experience can be very interesting for our Uzbekistan and the partners in order to get the best practices. At the same time, for Indonesians, will be very interesting to get the general information about the economy of Uzbekistan, about the reforms that we are undertaking nowadays. And so today's webinar will serve as a new platform between the two sides. And availing myself of this opportunity, I would like to express our gratitude to Paramadina University to supporting our idea to have the webinar in a very short period of time. And I wish all the participants to enjoy today's webinar, and please feel free to raise any question. So let's have today's webinar in a more practical way. It's not only in the style of the lecture, but we need to find the answers to all our questions. Thank you all, and all participants stay healthy, and most importantly, Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. Inshallah, the pandemic will be soon over, and we can organize our next the conference in a physical meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muzaffar Abdul Azimo, for your kind wishes, and hopefully all of the participants will get so many insight and also knowledge from this lecture. Okay, now before we are going to the main session, we would like to invite you all to a group photo. So please turn on your camera. Turning on your camera, please. I would like to have a group photo. Thank you. I will count 3, 2, 1 when you are ready. Okay, the first one, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the next group. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much. Now we arrive at the main session, the webinar with the title Potential Collaboration Between Indonesia and Uzbekistan in Economic and Sharia Finance. And I would like to invite Dr. Handi Riza, who will be the moderator, to lead this session. And now, Pak Handi, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Dewi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Ramadan Mubarak. May we always be in good, healthy, and safety. We know that currently the spread of the COVID-19 virus is still everywhere. We still pay attention to health protocols. Our Honorable Mr. Ambassador of the Republic of the Uzbekistan and staff, and also the Second Secretary, Mr. Muzaffar, the Chancellor of Paramadina University, Ibu Prima Naomi, and the representative with Ibu Fatia. And also we respect board speaker. The first is Mr. Associate Professor Sultan Emir Hidayat, the Director of Islamic Economic Supporting Ecosystem, KNIKS. The second speaker is Mr. Serzat Ismailov, Economic and Commercial Chancellor, Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan to the Republic of Indonesia. And I think both of our speakers are very competent and represent in their respective field. Of course, the webinar participant that we are proud to be present with all of you. And our theme today is the opportunity for cooperation in Sharia economic and financial development, Indonesia and Uzbekistan. Before we start the program, I would like to say thank you very much for the good cooperation between Paramadina University, the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan in Jakarta, and also KNIKS. Hopefully, this will be a good start for us for plan even the bigger program to advance the Islamic economic and finance in our country. As a moderator, let me give you a little description about our webinar event in this afternoon. The development of the Islamic economic and finance in Indonesia began with the establishment of the Bank Muamalat Indonesia in 1991. And then Bank Syariah Mandiri was born in 1999. The Sharia Banking Act was established in 2008, the number of 21, 2008. We note later that many new Islamic banks were born, either as full-fledged or Sharia units. Now we have the larger Islamic bank from the merger of 3 Islamic banks and name we call Bank Syariah Indonesia. After 2 decades of development of the Islamic economic in Indonesia, it has entered a new phase. The development of Islamic economic is not only driven by Islamic banking and finance, but the halal industry sector is also growing rapidly. Based on the State of the Global Islamic Economic Report, SGIA 2022 and 2020, first, Indonesia is a 4th place in the ranking, and previous in the 5th in the 1999. 2019, I think. This increase was driven by 5 indicators, including Islamic finance, halal food, Muslim-friendly travel, modest fashion, media and recreation, and also cosmetic and pharmacy. The amount of consumption expenditure for the halal industry and the halal lifestyle of Muslim in the world reached $2.02 trillion in 2019 and expected to continue to grow up, reach $3.2 trillion in 2024. The amount of consumption lifestyle in the halal sector implements in Indonesia in 2020 has only reached 203.2 million and still small, And Indonesia and Uzbekistan have a very large potential for developing cooperation, both between the government G2G and also B2B of Indonesia and Uzbekistan. Currently, I have a data, the value of trade between Indonesia and Uzbekistan has continued to increase in last 5 years. In the trade balance in 2090, even though the total trade deficit between Indonesia and Uzbekistan reached $31.23 million. Indonesian export value is only 8.7 million, and Indonesia import value from Uzbekistan reached 22.5 million. And then Uzbekistan has trade surplus, rather than Indonesia. In the future, there are still opportunities for Indonesia and Uzbekistan to increase trade, especially in the halal industrial product and the halal lifestyle of the two countries. The two countries must continue to encourage the entry of superior halal product to their respective country, so that it's hoped that the trade balance between the two countries will increase. The two countries should be continue to actively promote approach with the local entrepreneurs, hall exhibition and business gathering for halal product and lifestyle. So it's hoped that the future halal trade transaction between the two countries will continue to increase. And then we hope that this webinar can be one way to open opportunities for cooperation in the Sharia economic and Islamic economic, and finance to the two countries. We hope the two countries can become the center of Islamic economic and financial in the area. So to elaborate on the idea in above, let's listen to the presentation of our two speakers. On this first chance, we give the opportunity to Associate Professor Sultan Emir Hidayat, the Director of Islamic Economic Support, KNIKS, to deliver his presentation. Mr. Sultan Emir, time is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Handi Riza. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in ala umurid dunya waddin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain, amma ba'du. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. The Honorable Vice Rector of Academic and Student Affairs, Dr. Fatihah Muda, the Honorable Vice Rector of Resources, Dr. Hadi Riza, as well as our moderator, deans and directors of Para Madinah Universities, officials from the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan in Jakarta, Mr. Muzaffar, Second Secretary, and also the speaker, Mr. Serzot Ismailov, Economic and Commercial Counselor of the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan in Jakarta, participants who are present in this webinar. First of all, I would like to greet Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. Kullu amin wa antum bi khair, and may Allah accept our good deeds and forgive our sins and make us piety person, especially after this Ramadan, inshallah. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Please allow me to share my presentation. 1 minute. Can you see my slide?
Yeah, Pak Emir.
Yeah,
it's clear.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Handi. I would like to discuss about the development of Islamic economy and finance in Indonesia, even though some of them have been discussed in the prologue by our moderator, Dr. Handi. Yeah, it has been mentioned that globally the total consumer spending for halal products and services stood around $2.02 trillion in 2019 and estimated to grow in 2024 up to 3 trillion. It is actually a big market, and when we also count about Islamic finance, in terms of total assets of Islamic finance, it stood around $2.88 trillion in 2019, and the trend is positive for all indicators, which include halal food, Islamic finance, travel and tourism, Muslim friendly travel, modest fashion, halal pharmaceutical and cosmetics, and halal media and recreation. It shows that halal industry and also Islamic finance can become a good economic sources for both Indonesia and Republic of Uzbekistan. And it has been mentioned also by Dr. Andi that in the last year, Indonesia has been blessed by the Almighty Allah with many good achievements. For example, in the State of the Global Islamic Economy Report 2020, our country has been placed at the number 4 for the overall rank and included in the top 10 of all indicators. In the previous years, we were only included in the top 10 for several indicators only. But this year, alhamdulillah, we have been included in the top 10 for all indicators. When it comes to another publisher or another ranking provider, for example, like the eldest one, Global Islamic Finance Report, in 2020, Indonesia has been ranked at number 2 with better score than last year. And also in Islamic Finance Development Indicator, which is published by Refinitiv and International Corporation Development of Islamic Development Bank, Indonesia has been placed at number 2 or at the second place after Malaysia, and it was in number 4 in the previous year. Also, for Global Muslim Travel Index, even though there is no index released in 2020 due to pandemic, in 2019 Indonesia has been placed at the top destination for Muslim traveler in the world, along with Malaysia. The same score was obtained by Indonesia with Malaysia during 2019 Global Muslim Travel Index, GMTI. Each report has different criteria in measuring the ranking. For example, State of the Global Islamic Economy Report use 4 criteria for each indicator, while Global Islamic Finance Report use 8 criteria, and IFDI use 5 criteria, and Global Muslim Travel Index use 4 criteria. So this makes the ranking of Indonesia different from one publisher to another publisher. Another good things that we need to appreciate last year, it was the achievement of Indonesia in the Global Islamic Finance Award. Several Islamic economic institutions in Indonesia, along with some influential personalities in Indonesia or from Indonesia, have been awarded the Global Islamic Finance Award in 2020 in Pakistan, in Islamabad, including the National Committee for Islamic Economy and Finance, KNIKS, which received Global Islamic Finance Advocacy Award 2020, along with Bank Syariah Mandiri before the merger, then Bank Syariah BTPN, and Basnas, Rumah Zakat, and also Indonesia Stock Exchange and Tazkiyah. There are 2 Indonesian or influential personalities in Indonesia, Professor Dr. Bambang Sudipyo and also Mr. Irwan Abdullah, who received special award for leadership role and also upcoming personality in global Islamic finance in 2020. And at the national level, Indonesia frequently holds Halal Award, but the last time it was held in 2019 during the Indonesia Syariah Economic Festival. The LPPOM Majelis Ulama Indonesia held the Halal Award, awarding several halal top brands, which includes not only specific brand in Islamic economy and finance, but also multinational organization such as PT Unilever. PT Unilever, a multinational corporation, received the most halal top brand award. And also KFC, which is international franchise restaurant, also Coca-Cola, along of course with specific brands such as Wardah and also Bank Muamalah, that receive Halal Top Brand for Cosmetic category, as well for the Best Islamic Financial Institution Award at the national level. And even though it is still far away from its potential, the market share of Islamic finance in Indonesia has been growing significantly throughout this decade. By December 2020, the market share of Islamic finance, which include Islamic banking, non-banking financial institution, and Islamic capital market, excluding Sharia compliant share, the total asset stood at 1,802.86 trillion rupiah with 9.89% market share, excluding Sharia compliant share. When it comes to Sharia compliant share, we need to be thankful also because more than 50% of the shares listed in the Indonesian Stock Exchange, both in terms of number and also in terms of market capitalization, they are already Sharia compliant. When it comes to Islamic capital market alone, excluding Sharia compliant share, the total market share stood at 17.39% by December 2020, which include corporate sukuk, government sukuk, and Islamic mutual funds. This data is from the Financial Services Authority, or OJK, by December 2020. When it comes to non-banking financial industry or Islamic non-banking financial industry, known in Indonesia as IKNB, the total asset of IKNB stood at 113.15 trillion rupiah by December 2020, with the market share of 4.38%, which includes 13 Islamic insurance with total asset of 43.02 trillion, 4 Islamic pension funds organization with total asset 7.06 trillion, and then with 9 Islamic financing institution with total asset 22.85 trillion, and 5 which divided into 2 Islamic guarantor and also 3 Islamic pawn shop with total asset of 39.66 trillion rupiah, and 10 peer-to-peer financing or 11 peer-to-peer financing Islamic fintech with total asset of 59 billion rupiah. In general, since 2019, the total asset of Islamic IKNB have grown relatively higher than the conventional IKNB, showing the increase in the interest of Indonesian public, Indonesian society to invest or to use the services of Islamic non-banking financial institution. When it comes to sukuk, both sovereign sukuk and corporate sukuk have shown positive trends during 2015 to 2020 period. Of course, sovereign sukuk is more active than corporate sukuk. This is still our homework. The total number of government sukuk outstanding has reached 65 series, or 28.63% of the total number of government securities. Sorry for the mistake here, for the typo here, which stood at 227 series. So 28.63% of the government securities or sovereign securities that have been issued are already in the form of sukuk or Sharia compliant securities. Or in terms of value, the value of sovereign sukuk has reached around 940.84 trillion rupiah, or representing 18.71% of the total value of government or sovereign securities, which stood at 5,029.14 trillion rupiah. When it comes to corporate sukuk, of the 163 corporate sukuk that are currently outstanding. There are around 110 sukuk series that use ijara contract, which is still dominant. 47 sukuk series use mudarabah contract, around 28.83, and 6 sukuk series use wakalah contract. Similarly, in terms of value, ijara is still dominant, and followed by mudarabah and then wakalah sukuk. When it comes to the enabler of Islamic economy in Indonesia, Indonesia has a lot of potential that can be explored to optimize their national economy through Islamic economy and finance. Our Vice President aims to make Indonesia the halal top producer, not only the consumer. At the moment, Indonesia's position as an exporter of halal products, at least to Organization of Islamic Cooperation countries, we are still at number 3 or 4, because the latest data that I have here 4, but I have heard from one of the representative from Ministry of Trade and Commerce. They mentioned that Indonesia now is already placed at number 3. Unfortunately, I haven't got the data. So, but at least we are at the number 3 or number 4. But if we look at the size of our economy, we are the biggest economy within the OIC countries. We are supposed to be in the top of exporter of halal products to Organization of Islamic Cooperation countries. And of course, if you look at the if we know that the total Muslim consumption or spending for halal products stood around 2.02 trillion last year, or at least in 2019, in Indonesian at around 218.8 billion, which is more than 10% of the total expenditure of global citizen for halal products and services. And the potential for the development of halal industry and also Islamic economy in general is immense in Indonesia, especially with the improvement in the halal lifestyle literacy in the Republic. At one of the webinars, I shared the floor with Dr. Nurhayati Subakat, the founder of Wardah, and she mentioned that the turning point of her company's sales, which is Wardah, it was during 2009 when the hijabers community came into the picture and then become more popular. People realize that halal lifestyle becoming more important for their life. And then, of course, they are looking also for halal cosmetic. And this proposition has boosted Wardah sale from 2009 until the moment. And now Wardah is becoming one of the biggest cosmetic companies in Indonesia. And of course, when we look at the total number of Islamic boarding school, the total number of, let's say, Islamic educational institution in Indonesia, we know that the potential of Indonesia in developing Islamic economy and finance is very immense. Therefore, the government from time to time has been showing its full commitment towards the development of Islamic economy and finance in the Republic. And one of the evidences how serious the government of Indonesia in developing Islamic economy and finance is through the formation of the National Committee for Islamic Economy and Finance, KNIKS, which is a government entity mandated to accelerate, advance, and widen the development of Islamic economy in the country, and expected to be the catalyst in advancing Islamic economy and finance to strengthen national economic resilience or resistance. And directly, this committee is chaired by His Excellency Joko Widodo, the President of the Republic of Indonesia, and the Vice Chairman is our Vice President, His Excellency Professor Dr. K. Haji Ma'ruf Amin, who is at the same time also the Executive Chairman of this committee. And there are 16 ministers and head of relevant authorities becoming the member of this committee, while the Minister of Finance become the secretary of this committee. And there is a dedicated team which is taking care of the substance of this committee, responsible for preparing the recommendation, public policy recommendation, and also strategic programs, and coordinating all the stakeholders of Islamic economy in the country. This special team is called the executive management. Here where I am currently working for, which is at the executive management of this committee. And our secretariat is at the Ministry of Finance, chaired by or headed by ex officio of Assistant to the Minister of Macroeconomic and Policies. This is the mandate of KNIKS according to Presidential Decree number 28, year 2020, which is to accelerate, expand, and advance the development of Islamic economy and finance in order to strengthen the national economic resilience with 4 focus areas. The first one is to develop halal industry. And in this aspect, our executive chairman, the vice president, wants us to be the global halal hub producer. And then to develop Islamic financial industry to support the halal industry. So there will be halal value chain, which is convergence between Islamic financial industry and halal industry. At the moment, there are many halal industry players whose products and services are already halal certified. However, when it comes to financing, they are still using conventional finance. So the integration is still not there, not yet there. So therefore, there is a need to converge between Islamic finance industry and halal industry in order to create what we call as halal value chain. And the third focus area is development of Islamic social funds, namely zakah, infaq, sadaqah, and wakaf. We know if we can optimize this Islamic social funds, inshallah, it can improve the welfare of our society. It can empower the poor people to start their businesses and to change their status from the recipients of zakah into the payer of zakah. And the last one, we need also to develop and expand our Islamic business activities. Our vice president always mentioned that we don't only create the industry without strong players. So we want to create small and medium enterprises who are export oriented, whose products are intended to be exported. So in order to create better trade balance within our of course within our balance of payment. And from time to time, the support of the government towards KNIKS has been increasing. KNIKS previously was known as KNKS because at the time when it was established as National Committee for Islamic Finance only. There is no economy. The committee was established because of the research done by National Development Planning Agency, Bappenas, which came with a master plan, which is called Master Plan of Islamic Financial Architecture, MAXI. One of the recommendation in MAXI was in order to get out from the 5% market share trap of Islamic finance in Indonesia, the government needs to create a special government entity for Islamic finance. That recommendation was taken by His Excellency President Joko Widodo by forming National Committee for Islamic Finance, or in Indonesia we know it is known as KNKS. And in one of the plenary meetings of KNKS, His Excellency Joko Widodo as the President wants to expand the focus of Indonesia, not only Islamic finance, but also real sector, halal industry, Islamic economy. Therefore, the President instructed National Development Planning Agency, Bappenas, along with the executive management of KNKS, to finalize the more comprehensive master plan, which is called Master Plan of Indonesia's Islamic Economy, or Indonesian Islamic Economy 2019-2024, or the short form is MEXI, which is the roadmap and reference in developing the Islamic economy in Indonesia. And we are at the executive management created the derivative of MEXI, which is implementation plan of Islamic economic development in Indonesia, detailing what should be done in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, and 2024 for 5 years. And then by 2020, since the mandate of KNKS is added, which is also taking care of economy, then the nomenclature of the committee is adjusted, or was adjusted by February 2020 from KNKS into KNIKS, just with additional of economy in between. This is the master plan, which is the roadmap of Indonesia's Islamic economic development, with the vision to create an independent, prosperous, and civilized Indonesia by becoming the world's leading Islamic economic center or hub. There are 4 main strategies within the master plan, which is strengthening halal value chain, strengthening Islamic finance, strengthening micro, small, and medium enterprises, and strengthening digital economy. Each year we have theme related to Islamic economic development. 2020, we want to we develop solid foundation for the development of Islamic economy. In 2021, we strengthen the foundation and accelerate the implementation of the main programs. In 2022, we expect to achieve strategic initiative focuses on creating digital ecosystem by utilizing and leveraging information technology. And by 2023, we hope that an integrative and efficient ecosystem has been formed. And by 2024, we hope our vision becoming the global Islamic economy and financial hub will be achieved, inshallah. And there are 47 strategic initiatives which are derivative of MEXI. 11 strategic initiatives are related to halal industry. 8 strategic initiatives are related to Islamic financial industry. 11 strategic initiatives are related to Islamic social funds. 10 strategic initiatives are related to promotion, literacy, legal, and other aspects. And 7 strategic initiatives are related to education and research as the enabler of the ecosystem. And each area, namely halal industry, financial industry, Islamic financial industry, Islamic social fund, development and expansion of Islamic business activities, and also the infrastructure of Islamic economic system, have several focus areas, detailing with 3 focus areas within halal industry, 2 focus areas within Islamic financial industry, 3 focus areas within Islamic social funds, 3 focus areas within development and expansion of Islamic business activities, and 4 focus areas within the development of infrastructure of Islamic economic ecosystem. And at the end, what we want to establish in Indonesia is this economic and Islamic economic and financial ecosystem. We want to make sure that our people, the Indonesian people who are still below poverty line, which are categorized as mustahik, can be empowered to become halal industry player, starting from ultra micro businesses, using social fund, namely zakah, infak, sedekah, and wakaf. And once they are empowered to become ultra micro businesses, then still state budget in the form of Kur Sharia, we call it here. Yeah, even I cannot translate it spontaneously. Yeah, and also blended finance, namely through Baitul Mal wa Tamwil and also micro wakaf bank. So they will be empowered and to become micro business and then small business. And once they are bankable, then the commercial finance in the form of Islamic banks. At the lower level, we have Islamic rural banks, or known as BPRS here. And then once they become stronger, then the Islamic commercial bank will take care of them. And once they become bigger, the mechanism of Islamic capital market through listing in the Sharia index or Islamic index, or through issuances of sukuk, then this will provide them with financial needs according to Sharia compliant needs, yeah? Sharia compliant finance. So all of them are actually halal industry players, from the smallest entity until the biggest entity. And of course, we need to prepare the halal industrial infrastructure in the form of halal industrial areas or estates. Currently, we have 2 halal industrial zones. In one of them in the province of Banten and another one in the province of East Java, and several more halal industrial estate are in the pipeline. And we need to have also strong halal laboratory to come out with innovative halal products that can be exported to other countries, along also with halal port, ensuring the halal logistics are in place, ensuring that all halal supply chains are fulfilled. There is no contamination during the transportation of the goods with non-halal ingredients. And of course, all of this aim to fulfill the demand of the domestic market as well as the demand of the global market. And one of the uniqueness of Islamic economy in Indonesia, it is driven by community. Unlike, for example, Malaysia or Middle Eastern countries, where the development of Islamic economy and finance is driven by the government, top-down approach. In Indonesia, the community is actually the one who drive the development of Islamic economy more towards bottom-up approach. Therefore, the support of the communities in the form of Islamic institution, mass organization, association are really needed to make sure that this ecosystem works well, inshallah, in the future. And then also the supporting ecosystem in the form of human capital, research and development, harmonized regulation, branding, digital technology, awareness and consumer protection are in need to ensure that the whole ecosystem works well. This is what I can share at the moment. Thank you very much, and I really hope that Indonesia and Uzbekistan can strengthen their bilateral ties or relationship, especially through Islamic economy and finance. I'm sure that both countries are Muslim majority countries, and we can see that Islamic economy and finance can become one of the potential areas to support our national economy. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I give back the floor to Dr. Andi Riza.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Dr. Emir. And then we give applause for Dr. Emir for the good presentation. Yeah, Dr. Emir. Yeah, they describe the development of Islamic economic in Indonesia is very well. Yeah. So we believe, yeah, that the Islamic economic finance in Indonesia will be an alternative and source of new economic growth in Indonesia. And I think we have a lot of questions, yeah, to Dr. Emir, and then please keep first, and after we open the question and answer, we can give the opportunity for the all participants to get question to Dr. Emir. So we continue to the next speaker. We give the opportunity to Mr. Sherzod Ismailov, Economic and Commercial Counselor, Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan to the Republic of Indonesia. Mr. Sherzod, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Handeriza. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear colleagues, distinguished participants of today's meeting. And I would like to say thanks to Dr. Sultan Emir Hidayat for a very beautiful presentation about the Islamic finance and the structure of Islamic economy development in Indonesia. That was very excited that we see very good development in this sector in your country, and I think the main steps were done in 2019, in Islamic finance, that we really appreciate. You created international Islamic forum in Jakarta. Then it was really helpful for the development this sector in your country. And regarding the financial and economic sector in Uzbekistan, we are in the our country is situated in the center of Central Asia, and we are the biggest country in Central Asia, and we have a 34 million population, and now the volume of our economy is almost $60 billion. So if we say about financial sector, we have 30 independent banks, which is which are eight from 30 is state-owned, and the others is private banks. So a main regulator in this sector is Central Bank of the Republic of Uzbekistan, and currently, starting from 2019, we starting national transformation of financial sector and the banks of Uzbekistan, and we are attracting more investments in order to create a good atmosphere, and in order to make a good atmosphere in our financial market. Now, indeed, Uzbekistan enjoys the political stability and good relations with our neighbors, and with a large and predominantly Muslim population and a strategic location in the region. So we think that all these ingredients, all these tools can facilitate for Uzbekistan to become the major player in the Islamic finance in the Central Asian region. So I can say that the first steps already done by our government in order to implement the Islamic finance and Islamic banking system in Uzbekistan. So in 2020, our agency is created the blueprint presidential decree on sukuk. So yeah, we already started to discuss this initiative, and conventional banking system and other businesses already welcomed this initiative. And if we for exemption, the last year, I would like to introduce some statistics from the United Nations Development Program, and in Uzbekistan, the backbone of the economy is the small and medium-sized enterprises. They are contributing right now more than 80% of our GDP. And in this case, the economic activity of those businesses are directly related with conventional banks. So, but we face it to some problems in this case. Of course, there is a considerable amount of capital and investments cannot be used due to the incompatible their phase. I mean the businesses. So right now, considering those initiatives, we are going to arrange the sort of 3 pillars of the Islamic finance. So first of all, Islamic banking, sukuk, and the third one is takaful. So the conventional banking system and is in establishing Islamic finance in Uzbekistan. They are considering to arrange to create the Islamic window model first, then move to the Islamic banking system next steps. Yeah, we hopeful that in 2022 we can achieve that target, and we can create the own Islamic banking system. For the first steps, I think the as a bonds in order to attract capital, attract investments to develop the Islamic banking system, we have to create and establish the sukuk system in our country. So Islamic finance is a totally new concept to our country. Everyone knows that the majority of people are Muslims. Also in the business, and rising awareness, working with the micro and the medium-sized enterprises is led to provide and more Islamic finance, knowledge to our businesses and also to the banking sector, because banking sector is if we say about the banking sector, we have only conventional banks right now, and they are existing more than 30 years in Uzbekistan. So this system, Islamic banking, Sharia, Islamic finance, and Islamic bonds, they should learn, they should study first, they should see how it's going in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and in Middle East countries. So I think these 2 years will will play significant role in order to create the legal base and the regulatory framework in order to create the strong Islamic finance in Uzbekistan. So we know that in our neighbors in Kazakhstan or in Russia, they already started to develop the Islamic finance, but the main thing is that the awareness in the first place, and also the readiness of the banking system for that. So now we are very closely working with the Islamic Development Bank, and recently our Deputy Prime Minister became the member of the board of this international organization. So as a conclusion, I would like to say that Uzbekistan and Indonesia can arrange very good partnership in development of Islamic finance in Uzbekistan, not only in the financial and the real sector, also in the development of the education and preparing the specialists for the future structure in Uzbekistan, because we know that let's say Paramadina University and the other educational organizations in Indonesia, they have a very strong base in order to prepare the specialists for the halal economy sector, Islamic banking sector, and also as well as Islamic finance. So in this case, we are really welcome. We are very welcome to our Indonesian partners, Indonesian colleagues, to have a collaboration in the future in this case. And also I think the market in Uzbekistan also with the sizable population in the Central Asia can with the sizable population we can afford to develop this sector in very close future. Thank you very much, Mr. Handirisa and the other distinguished participants. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sherzod Ismailov. And I agree with you. We have a big opportunity, Indonesia and Uzbekistan, to develop cooperation, between university or G2G or business to business, to develop Islamic economic and finance in the future. And I think Mr. Emir also agree, we will open to discuss, and then try to develop some cooperation between two countries. Okay, we have next session. We open to question and answer session. But before we open, I want to say hello to all participants. Especially from our brother in Uzbekistan. I see there are from several universities. Will attend in this our program, and very welcome. We can interact each other between our college in Indonesia and Uzbekistan. Ladies and gentlemen, we open the question and answer. If you have a question, please active your speaker or write the question in your chat room. Any question from the participant? Please raise your hand or write in the chat room.
Uzbekistan mana kimlardir savollar bormi?
Okay, before from the audience, I have a question for Dr. Emir. Dr. Emir, what we listen the explanation from the Mr. Serzod Ismailov, and then what we have, the progress of Islamic banking in Indonesia. Do you have any idea how to we make the open cooperation or join program with our brother in Uzbekistan? Do you have any idea, Dr. Emir, to develop our cooperation with Uzbekistan?
Thank you, Dr. Hadi. There are several ideas in my mind at the moment. The first one, in order to strengthen the, let's say, trade relationship between Uzbekistan and Indonesia, especially in the halal industry, we can start by forming, we can call it, let's say, Indonesia Uzbekistan. I don't know, maybe already it has been formed, Indonesia and Uzbekistan Business Council or Business and Friendly Society. And then, but within the society, there is a focus on how to enhance the trade between Indonesia and Uzbekistan, especially in the halal industry. This is the first thing. And the second thing also, we can let's say exchange the ideas. For example, in terms of Islamic financial products available in Indonesia, Islamic financial products available in Uzbekistan, and then to share, let's say, our development in terms of fatwas, rulings. We have DSN, Majelis Ulama Indonesia, National Sharia Board, National Sharia Board of Islamic Scholars Council here in Indonesia, that has the authority to issue fatwas or rulings on Islamic products. And of course, through education. Last year, in Islamic Finance Development Indicator, IFDI, Indonesia is regarded as the #1 most, what you call this one, in terms of numbers, in terms of numbers of educational providers in the world for Islamic economic educational providers. So we can capitalize this strengths and to share it with our Uzbekistan counterparts. And also in terms of collaboration in research, not only for Islamic economic and financial research, but also halal science research. At the moment, we realize there are many products where the non-halal ingredients are still there. So we need to create the substitute for these non-halal ingredients through good research. For example, for some of the medicines, if the open medicine, yes, most of them are already halal certified, but prescribed medicine, some of them still contains, for example, gelatin, which is made from non-halal ingredient or non-halal component material. So therefore, we need to come out with research. We can do joint or collaborative research with Uzbekistan universities to come out with, let's say, the substitute for this halal material. This is some or several ideas that come in my mind spontaneously, Dr. Handi Riza.
Yeah.
But of course, if we think it thoroughly and we can put it into, let's say, MOA or MOU, then will be more ideas will come.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Emir. And we want to hear also the response from Mr. Serzot Ismailov about the idea of Dr. Emir. Do you have any idea or something to respond from the Dr. Emir said before?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Handrisa, Dr. Emir Hidayat. I fully support your idea, and first of all, our economies is very complementary. So the first thing is that, as you told, that elaborating in case of the production of halal foods, and also the main thing is between two countries is that development of tourism sector. So tourism services is very really crucial, and we also mainly focused on to develop the ziyarah tourism. So it means that we must create the necessary conditions, all facilities for our guests, for our Indonesian pilgrims in Uzbekistan, and vice versa for our tourists in Indonesia, because mostly Uzbek people also consider to consume the halal food and receive the halal services. This is the it can be the first step and the beginning of our cooperation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Serzot, and we hope we can make one MOU ya, Pak Emir ya, Dr. Emir, after this webinar ya, between Uzbekistan and Indonesia. Okay, we open again answer and question, and I see some participant raise the hand. Can you open your mute? Any question?
I have some
Okay.
comments, but if you allow me.
Yeah, okay. Please, Pak Muzaffar.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Leah, for your presentation. I would like to give some remarks regarding the future of our cooperation. Being honest, when we talk about the Islamic economy, Uzbekistan, we still have a certain, I would say, the obstacles, certain factors that I would say we don't have the full understanding of it. Because notwithstanding the fact that the Islamic school in Uzbekistan is very strong, but really hard to find the intersection point of the economy and the Sharia law and how to implement it. I think in order first to get the full comprehension, I'm talking from the Uzbekistan perspective, but we also create a certain group, the work group between the two countries, where we can bring the scholars from Indonesian side and from Uzbekistan side, most importantly, who is really doing research and who is really working in this field. let's say, the soldiers on the field, right? I'm ready to compose the list of the scholars on Uzbek side. Let's make, in order to make it flexible and very effective, let's make the group in a very compact. Maybe the 10 the researchers from Indonesian side and the 10 from Uzbek side. So let's create the work group and bring them together into direct cooperation. So where they can raise their questions, raise the issues, and then discuss, let's say, the online formats. Certainly, we are ready to help in creating that group. If you support that, I would really appreciate if we can get the list of the Indonesian citizens who is ready to be inside that working group. On our side, I will send the group to Uzbekistan and I will ask them vice versa. This is number one. Number two, I fully support the idea of signing the MOU. But I want to clarify MOU. So from the Indonesian side, the signatory will be KNX, right? And whom you think will be the proper equivalents from Uzbek side for you to cooperate in terms of MOU?
Do you have like halal authority over there?
Okay, so you need the halal authority.
Yeah, or yeah, if there is no, let's say we can sign with, for example, central bank. Do you have Islamic financial institution? You have, right, over there?
Yes. So you need the institution who is in charge of implementing the
Islamic banking in Uzbekistan. Islamic banking, you mean, Mr. Muzaffar?
No, Islamic banking, because we are not talking about Islamic banking. We are searching now the institution who is in charge of that.
Yeah.
Or who will be in charge of that, at least who is interested in that.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, we will figure it out to make it proper, and then we will find the signatory from the Uzbek side in terms of the experience sharing in the two sides. And moreover, as Mr. Sherzad mentioned, the halal tourism also is one of the important direction of our future cooperation. In 2019, if I'm not wrong, it was in June, we decided, we searched the information and we found out that the Lombok is one of the, let's say, the leading places for the halal tourism. And then we organized the visits of the local government of the Bukhara region to the Lombok, where we had the meeting with the vice governor. And we signed the agreement on sister cities between the Lombok, Western Nusa Tenggara, and then Bukhara regional governments in implementing the halal tourism experience of Indonesia, Uzbekistan, and vice versa. So what I mean, this is also very interesting. And in this case, I'm sure that from Uzbek side, the participants the partner can be Ministry of Tourism and Sports, because they are in charge of the implementing the Ziara tourism, the programs, particularly the halal standards as well. So there will be the two institutions. One, we will figure it out. Second will be the Ministry of Tourism and the Sports. So I have the three proposals to make it more effective. And if you let me know, I will like also address some words to the participants from Uzbekistan in Uzbek language.
If I may respond to
yeah, please.
Yes, please.
I think I really like your idea, Mr. Muzaffar, and especially for the working group, because the working group will detail all the possible cooperation. And you know, since Dr. Handi Riza is also a well-known scholar in Islamic economics here. Then and Paramadina, and you are already close, and at least you have strong relationship with Paramadina. So for that, we can also ask Dr. Handi Riza and Paramadina to mediate this collaboration, if you don't mind, Mr. Muzaffar.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Serzot, you have any comment to add?
Thank you, Mr. Handrisa, for today's meeting, and it was a very really detailed conversation and discussion on developing Islamic finance in Uzbekistan. Also, the perspectives of this sector in Indonesia. What I would like to say that Uzbekistan can just emulate the Islamic finance model from other countries, let's say from Indonesia, but each economy, each country has its specific sides. That's why it should be, I mean, the new Islamic finance model should be fit well to our social and economic environment at all. That's why let's try together, because you have enough experience in this direction, and we are ready to cooperate, as Mr. Muzaffar emphasized already, that we found the counterpart from Uzbek side, and we are ready to sign the MOU. And the first steps can be halal to the development of halal tourism, halal industry, and so on and so forth. So next steps can be derived from the first steps results. Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and to this beautiful meeting.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Serzot, and hopefully we can continue the follow-up, the webinar to make some MOU or cooperation between two institutions, Uzbekistan and Indonesia. So we open again. Any question for all participants? You can ask, I think you can ask with the Uzbek language, Mr. Muzaffar, and you can translate the question.
Yes, please. O'zbek tomoni savollar bo'lsa, kimdadir bemalol, mana hurmatli prezidentimiz tomonidan bu masala bir necha marta ko'tarilgan. Mana Indoneziya tomonidagi hamkorlarimiz bilan bugungi yig'ilishimizni tashkil qildik. Shuning uchun bu juda ham yaxshi imkoniyat. Hozir savolni to'g'ridan to'g'ri berib, ana ingliz tilida first hand information. Shu nuqtai nazardan hamma savollarga javob olishingiz mumkin. Marhamat, faol qatnashib, o'zingizlarni qiziqtirgan savollarni ko'tarib, ta'lim sohasida bo'ladimi bu yo'nalishda hamkorlik yoki o'sha amalda tatbiq qilish bo'yicha bo'ladimi? Bemalol savollarni ko'taringlar. Kimdadir agar ingliz tili muammo bo'lsa, men tarjimonlik qilishga tayyorman. Marhamat. Samarqanddan savollar bormi?
Assalomu alaykum.
Va alaykum assalom, assalomu alaykum.
Samarqand iqtisodiyot va servis institutida savolimiz bor edi.
Xo'p.
Samarqand iqtisodiyot va servis instituti ko'p loyihalarda ishtirok etyapti turizm sohasi bo'yicha. Shu halol turizm bo'yicha biron loyiha agar shakllantirgan bo'lsa, shunga ishtirok etishimiz mumkin. Shunda qanday qilib ishtirok etishimiz yoki o'zimiz yozib berishimiz mumkinmi bu loyihani?
Bu loyiha deganingizda bu ta'lim sohasidagi hamkorlik bo'yicha aytmoqchimisiz yoki?
Yo'q, nima ilmiy tadqiqot loyihasi.
Hop.
Halol turizm bo'yicha tadqiqot olib bormoqchimiz. Tadqiqotchilarimiz bor. Shunda shunaqa loyiha shakllantirilyaptimi yoki hozir loyihani yozib qandaydir tanlovga berishimiz mumkinmi?
Avvalambor, Dilbar opa, assalomu alaykum, hurmatli.
Assalomu alaykum.
Savolingiz uchun rahmat. Masalangizni hozir hal qilamiz. Mani taklifim bor. Bu sizda hozir chiqayotgan ideya, bu juda ham dolzarb mavzu. Shuning uchun mana hozir bir tomondan sizlarni oliygoh va mana hozir bu yoqdan Paramadina universitetini hozir mana prorektoriga murojaat qilamiz. Va ikkilovilar o'rtaliklarda hamkorlik o'rnatish bo'yicha aynan shu halol turizm sohasida ilmiy tadqiqot ishlarini olib borish bo'yicha memorandum imzolash masalalarini ko'taramiz. Qanaqa qaraysiz?
Rahmat, agar shunday bo'lsa yaxshi bo'lar edi. Memorandumni imzolasak, keyin ishlashimiz mumkin birgalikda.
Albatta, albatta. Handi.
Yeah.
So we got the proposal from the Samarkand Institution of Economy and the Service. Just short remark from my side, this institution is one of the leading in terms of the economics and the service, as far as I know. Traditionally, they have been like that up to date. So now they gave the proposal, particularly in halal tourism. So they are ready to be the ones in institution from Uzbek side in creating the research group in the halal tourism. So from your side can be the Paramadina University, and also the participants from the CNEX. So
yeah,
and she proposed to sign the memorandum understanding MOU between the two sides. So to make it very practical, how you assess this proposal?
Yeah, thank you. From the Samarkand, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Samarkand, yeah. And
where is the complex of Imam Bukhari?
Oh, mashallah, yeah. Because Imam Bukhari is the very famous in Indonesia, and I think we have an opportunity to create one program or joint research between some university in Indonesia, especially in Paramadina, and also KNIKS. Pak Emir, actually we have the authority for the halal tourism, right? Pak Sabta, you remember the organization?
Yeah, there is Indonesia Halal Center Lifestyle. Yeah. And
under the ministry,
the chairman,
under the Minister of Tourism, right?
In Ministry of Tourism and Economic Creative, at the moment, alhamdulillah, the minister also has very high interest in we call it now not halal tourism but Muslim friendly tourism.
Friendly tourism.
Yeah,
I think
because there is a misperception when someone heard halal tourism, they thought that everyone should be Muslim like that. No, it's not like that. So the term now has been changed into Muslim friendly tourism.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Muzaffar, we open with the cooperation, and if you have any a proposal, you can send to us, and then we try to learn and then make a link with some authority or some university in Indonesia, and we try to develop one research about the friendly Muslim tourism. Yeah, we call friendly Muslim tourism. Yeah.
If I may add a bit, Dr. Handi, is it okay? Into 2019, KNIKS has created a case study, a case study about Muslim-friendly tourism. At the time, we still call it halal tourism. How Lombok as an example, as a case study of halal tourism, we call it at the time, but now Muslim-friendly tourism. Then we can also later on do the same, let's say, ziarah tourism for Imam Bukhari, but in the frame of Muslim-friendly tourism also.
Yeah, I think Dr. Emil, we have, it's not only Lombok, right? We have Aceh also, and the West Sumatra.
West Sumatra, Aceh, correct.
Banten, and West Java. I think so many places,
Yes,
then we can
correct.
arrange maybe like a sister city between
Yes.
Aceh or Padang with the Samarkand or one city in Uzbek, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, nice proposal, and we open again.
Can I translate it what we said to Samarkand?
Okay, Mr. Hassan.
Doğru hozir mana o'z guvohi bo'ldingiz, gaplashdik. Bular memorandum imzolashga tayyor. Ularni oliygoh bilan aynan shu turizm bo'yicha halol turizm bo'yicha hamkorlik qilish yuzasidan memorandum imzolashga bular tayyor. Shu sababdan sizdan bir iltimos, o'zingizda xohlagan hamkorlik formatida memorandum loyihasini bizga yuborsangiz, memorandum loyihasini bizga yuborganingizda biz bu Paramadaniy universitetiga beramiz. Indoneziya tomoni Paramadaniy universiteti va boshqa tashkilotlar nomini ham o'ziga qo'shib, formatini to'g'irlab, o'zligini, ya'ni fikrligini yetishadi. Ikki tomon keyin soglashib kelgandan keyin imzolashni boshlaymiz. Shuning uchun loyihani yuborsangiz, biz ishlash, buni davom ettirishga 100% tayyormiz.
Rahmat. Elchixonaga yuboraman-da, bo'lmasam.
Ha, elchixonaga bizga yuborsangiz, biz buni
Xo'p, rahmat.
ishlashni boshlaymiz.
Rahmat.
Hop. Regarding the Samarkand side is fully supporting our idea. I would like to share the one short my personal experience. When we talk about the educational institutions, sometimes, or some people, I would say, underestimate this potential. Most of the time, they are looking at the government institutions and so on. But I will give you the small example. And in 2020, we sent the 200 Indonesian students, architecture students, to Uzbekistan in March 2020, and they learned the Islamic historical architecture of the Samarkand, Bukhara, and Tashkent. And after 1 year, look the results. So they learned it. They made their own project. In 1 year, we finished the building of the masjid named after Imam Bukhari, built in the Uzbek architecture style in Cianjur. On April 9, Alhamdulillah, we had the opening of the masjid. You visit the masjid is 90% Uzbekistan architecture style in Indonesia, adapted to Indonesian local conditions.
Yeah.
But this is the result in 1 year, notwithstanding the pandemic. That's why the power of the institutions are very strong. So once I received the draft of the MOU, immediately I will send it to you, and then we will proceed. Thank you. Bukhara, Toshkent, Andijon.
Bukhara, Muzaffar aka o'zi, Bukhara viloyati, Bukhara.
Bukhara viloyatida kim bor?
Bukhara viloyati qaysi universitet?
Bukhara davlat universiteti.
Ha, Bukhara davlat universiteti juda ham Indoneziya bilan aktiv ishlaydigan bu tashkilot, universitet. Iltimos sizlar ham bir taklif beringlar. Juda ham yaxshi hozir imkoniyat. Shu bo'yicha hozir hamma ish boshlanib ketadi.
Buxoro savoligini o'ylaguncha Andijon, Toshkent, kimdir bo'lsa bemalol Qarshi.
Bu yoki bu sohada qanaqadir hamkorlik qilish imkoniyati bor-da hozir. Hamma iltimos shu o'zini nimasi bo'lsa, takliflari bo'lsa, tezda bersanglar, mana hozir Muzaffar aka men yaqindan yordam berib yetkazib
ishladim. Assalomu alaykum, hurmatli qatnashchilar. Men Po'latxon Lutfullayevman, Namangan davlat universiteti xalqaro hamkorlik bo'limi boshlig'iman. Indoneziyaning oliy ta'lim muassasalari o'sha bilamiz, juda dunyoda eng mashhur universitetlar juda ham ko'p. Ular bilan biz u yerda bo'lganmiz. ular bilan hamkorligimiz bor. Ayniqsa pedagogika sohasida, maktabgacha ta'limda, keyin IT texnologiya bo'yicha ularda juda potensial kuchli. Biz bugungi mana bu yig'ilishdan kelib chiqib, yana bir marta shu Indoneziyaning oliy ta'lim muassasalarini ko'rib chiqamiz. Ular bilan hamkorlik qilish mumkin bo'lgan nuqtalarni hammasini aniqlab, ular bilan albatta biz aloqaga chiqamiz. Bugungi nimada agar nima qilinsa, shu bizni xalqaro bo'limni Telegram kanalimiz bor. Agar shu Indoneziyadagi o'sha nimani yana ko'proq informatsiya berib turilsa bizga, shu o'zaro nima qilinsa, o'sha elchixona tomonidanmi yoki har ikki elchixonasi tomonidan berib turilsa, biz albatta ular bilan hamkorlik qiladigan nuqtalarimizni topamiz. Davom ettiramiz hamkorligimizni. Bizda juda ham takliflar ko'p, yana boshqa takliflar ham bor. Biz yozma ravishda yuboramiz Sherzod aka sizga.
Rahmat aka katta taklifingiz uchun, fikringiz uchun. Hozir endi bir nuqtani oladigan bo'lsam, aynan IT sohasida ham sizlarda ixtisoslashish bor, to'g'rimi?
Bizda alohida o'sha amaliy matematika nimamiz fakultetimiz bor, matematika fakultetining ichida. Umuman hozir IT texnologiyani qaysidir u yoki bu OTMga tegishli degan joy qolmadi. Har bitta OTM shug'ullanish kerak IT texnologiya bilan. Arxitektura bo'lsa ham, servis bo'lsa ham, iqtisod bo'lsa ham, davlat universitetlari bo'lsa ham. O'shaning uchun IT texnologiyada biz Indoneziyadan o'rganishimiz bo'lgan juda ko'p nimalar bor. U bo'yicha maqolalar ham yozganmiz. Ularda juda o'sha o'rchasiga aytganda передовой professor o'qituvchilar ham juda ko'p. Ular bilan biz ishlaymiz, faqat ba'zi paytda biz mana Yevropaga boshqa joyga e'tibor qaratib, Indoneziya bilan ko'p holatlarda qolib ketgan. Endi yoki Malayziya bilan ko'proq ishlanadi, lekin Indoneziyaga kam e'tibor beriladi. Aslida ularning universitetlarida potensial universitetlar juda ham ko'p.
Aka, bo'lmasam misol uchun sizni faoliyat olib borayotgan oliygoh bilan bularning o'rtasida aynan shu islom iqtisodiyoti, islomskiy ekonomika, shariatskiy ekonomikada o'sha axborot texnologiyalarini joriy qilish, mana shu ikkalovi birlashgan nuqta bo'yicha hamkorlik qilsa nima deysiz?
Da IT forensic
sifroviy ekonomika juda ham yaxshi rivojlangan nimada. Bularda shariy ekonomiya nimasida rivojlantirish yo'l xaritasida asosiy nimalardan biri, bo'g'inlardan biri hisoblanadi. Sifroviy ekonomika.
Menimcha shu iqtisodchilik
o'ylab o'tdim. Hozir mana misol uchun Samarqandni aynan o'sha muslim friendly turizm bo'yicha hozir mana hamkorlikka olib keldik. O'ylaymanki, agar misol uchun Namanganni aynan shu o'sha sifroviy ekonomikada, raqamli iqtisodiyotda aynan shu shariatskiy ekonomika направленияsi bo'yicha qo'ysa nima deysiz?
Iqtisodchilar bilan birga bo'ladida, iqtisodchilar, chunki o'sha shariat hozir men tushunishim bo'yicha forensic IT bor, keyin information system bor. Information system technology deydi. Mana shu bu bevosita bank bilan, iqtisod bilan, keyin management bilan bog'liq fanlar. To есть bu informatsion texnologiyani ham bilish kerak. Ani bank tizimini ham yaxshi bilish kerak, moliyani ham yaxshi bilish kerak. To'y shunaqangi hozir mana Westminster universitetida bor-ku shunaqa yo'nalishlar. Endi to'g'ri bizda hozir konkretni ajratib qo'ygan, moliya alohida, IT alohida. Lekin shuni qachondir shuni o'ylab ko'rishimiz kerak. Balkim shu yo'nalishi ichida iqtidorli talaba bilan ishlab turib alohida guruhga qo'ya olamizmi? Shunaqangi bir nuqtasini topishimiz kerak bor. Hamma oliy o'qituvchilar. Indoneziya bilan juda ko'p qiladigan ishlarimiz bor.
Demak, tushundim. Hanbi, so now we got another proposal from the Namangan State University. Now they are proposing also to create the one work group. Right? So it will be the second work group or will be the part of the first group, I don't know. But direction, the field of the cooperation will be the role of IT in Sharia economy, in implementing the Sharia economy, the role of IT in terms of the Islamic banking, because I am living in Indonesia quite long, so I know how the IT industry very well developed in the banking system. So they want to cooperate in this field. So now we attach the Namangan State University as our second partner for the IT role in the Sharia economy and Sharia banking.
Yeah, I think it's the good idea to how to develop the IT, the Sharia, the Islamic banking and Islamic economic. And Dr. Emir, you have any comment to the proposed?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Handi. I actually now it comes to my mind, if you agree, Mr. Muzaffar and also Mr. Serzot, there should be, let's say, an umbrella institution or organization for this working group. We can call it Indonesia, Uzbekistan, let's say, friendship or business and friendship society or council or whatever. And then under this council or society, there will be several working groups. And then working group number 1 is about halal industry, which is including also inside Muslim friendly tourism. And another one is, let's say, about Islamic economic digitalization or digitalization within Islamic economy, which is one of the main strategies in our master plan, and also in line with our master plan of Islamic economy of Indonesia. So I think I agree, and then maybe through this society later on, we identify more working groups, but the umbrella will be Indonesia, Uzbekistan, let's say business and friendship society, which is, let's say, initiated by the embassy of Uzbekistan here, under the patronage of His Excellency the Ambassador. This is my proposal.
We just confirmed your idea.
Yeah, I think it's better. The good idea from Pak Emir, and we have the umbrella, and then we try to divide by segment, yeah, or with the idea for example, for tourism, Islamic finance, or Islamic how to develop the IT and so on. I think it's better.
Even also research,
yeah,
research, and also education.
Okay, Pak Emir and Mr. Serzot, we have a question from the chat room. Yeah, I read. Yeah, from Pak Rudi Harahap. Yeah, in what field of economy that can be potentially opened between Indonesia and Uzbekistan? Yeah, the first question. The second question from Pak Adrian. The standardization process in the halal industry is very important to convince buyers that the goods or services provided fulfill the halal process according to the Quran and Hadith. However, for small medium enterprise, standardization requires awareness and a long documentation process. According to the speaker, how to help small medium enterprise in the process of halal standardization in both Indonesia and Uzbekistan. Okay, please answer, Pak Emir. You want to answer first?
For the first one, I think now we are identifying the possible collaboration. There are many possible areas, I guess, yeah, given both countries are Muslim majority countries, and then I look at the spirit of some universities who are present here. They want to bring this collaboration into action. So now I cannot answer all the questions. I mean, in what field, but now we are still exploring. But I guess the data, the bilateral trade data will tell us about the existing collaboration. Maybe the embassy of Uzbekistan in Jakarta will be able to explain it in more details. This is the first one. The second one about standardization for micro, small, and medium enterprises. This is also our concern. We know that in the new act, which is called in Indonesia Cipta Kerja Act, yeah, UU Cipta Kerja, it is mentioned that certification for micro, small, and medium enterprises will be free of charge. And of course, we are still waiting for the derivative regulation in the form of government regulation, so to put it into practice. But there are requirements for halal certification. For example, there should be halal supervisor, penyelia halal in bahasa Indonesia, right? And then this halal supervisor is really needed. Now we are in discussion with the Bank Syariah Indonesia, and we are now, if let's say this discussion work well, we propose that the account officer of Islamic banks, not only Bank Syariah Indonesia, of course, but at the moment with Bank Syariah Indonesia, our discussion, they are not only account officer, but they are at the same time having halal supervisor certification, so they can help the micro, small, and medium enterprises not only to get financing from a bank Sharia or Islamic bank, but also at the same time helping these MSMEs to get halal certification. So this will help, will solve the issue of halal, the requirement of halal supervisor for small and medium enterprises. We hope that it will work, inshallah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Emir. The next question I read Pak Feraldi Luis. You have any question, Pak Feraldi Luis?
Pak Feraldi is the author of halal tourism.
Oh, okay.
In collaboration with us from IPMI. Assalamualaikum, Pak Feraldi.
Waalaikumsalam
Please
warahmatullahi
welcome, Pak Feraldi.
Thank you. MashaAllah, I am so very happy to see this forum, and I'm excited for the future of the cooperation between our two nations. And thank you, Prof. Sultan, to introduce me. I'm from IPMI International Business School, and I'm very, very excited to think about the opportunity of exchange students between our two nations. And in our school, we are a business school. In our school, every semester, students have to make business proposals. I would love very much to see Uzbek students coming to our school as exchange students and come out when they go home, possibly thinking of potential business to be developed in cooperation with our students and with our business partners. Many of our alumni are heads of business in Indonesia, and that would be of very big interest for your students and potentially your business people of business from Uzbekistan to come and talk to. But to start with, exchange students potentially developing business concepts to be brought home and maybe developed here in Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Feraldi Luis. Yeah, do you have any idea how to make the cooperation, yeah, university between in Indonesia and Uzbekistan? Any comment, Mr. Sherzod Ismailov? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Do you have any comment how to develop one cooperation between the university in Indonesia and in Uzbekistan?
So you mean the in tourism sector, yeah?
It's
Well,
not only tourism.
any sector.
Yeah,
it could be
not only
halal tourism.
sector,
It could be other halal businesses and other businesses in general.
First of all, thank you very much, Mr. Feraldi, for your kind proposal and your idea in order to facilitate the future cooperation between the Uzbek and Indonesian educational organizations. Yeah, so we focused right now on to the development of halal tourism first, halal industry, and generally the Islamic banking, and after that Islamic finance at all, yeah, as a whole system. So this is the just one direction, but if it is possible to arrange the sort of mix of the directions and the ingredients of the Islamic finance, let's say, to develop together. I mean, from the side of the preparation of the specialists in Indonesia, and attract students or the staff of our universities in order to teach here in Indonesia. That will be perfect. So let's say our colleague from the Namangan State University offered that has idea that to develop the digital economy. Other colleague from Samarkand University has to develop the tourism sector. Yeah, so too many sectors. So if we can choose the certain directions and start to collaborate, that will be perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Serzot. Pak Feraldi, do you have feedback from this comment? Pak Serzot, Mr. Serzot?
Well, yes, many of our faculty and students, our faculty are business people. They're not just faculty, but they're active in the business world. And so are our students, especially our master's program students. They are active in business. So if you have a specific interest, including digitalization of business, we'd be more than happy to help you to start, think, and maybe find potential partners within our campus or even beyond our campus. I think any cooperation between the two nations is a start of great business and cooperation between us. So we would like to help you in any way we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. MashaAllah, yeah. We have been discussion for 2 hours, yeah. And I think we have arrived in the end of the event, yeah. Very active and dynamic discussion between 2 speakers. And I give the last chance, Pak Emir, do you have any comment for the closing statement also? And Mr. Serzot, if you have any closing statement, please welcome. Pak Emir, please.
Yeah, thank you very, very much for inviting us, KNIKS, in this very important webinar. I believe we can strengthen our brotherhood. I think when it comes to Muslim countries, it's not only a friend, but it's a brother. So inshallah, this forum will serve as a platform to strengthen our bilateral brotherhood, and then to strengthen our ties, and then inshallah will bring mutual benefit to our nation. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Serzot, you have closing statement?
Thank you very much to these speakers, Dr. Emir Hidayat, Mr. Moderator Handirisa, and the distinguished participants. Yeah, we are seeking to cooperate and to arrange the sort of a long-lasting strategic cooperation with our Indonesian colleagues in developing Islamic finance. So let's let this meeting be the beginning of our mutual beneficial cooperation in close future, in near future. Yeah, that's why I'm very grateful and thank you for your time and for your participation, in this event. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are optimistic that the mutual benefit cooperation between the two countries, Uzbekistan and Indonesia, to develop Islamic economic and finance will increase in the future. We hope that the two countries can immediately follow up on this meeting. We would like to thank you to speaker who delivered the nice presentation, presentation, also to participants who have been actively discussion in this question and answer session. Once again, thank you for this event. Hopefully we can hold a webinar with the different tema. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr.
Dr.
Amir,
Hadi.
Mr. Serzot,
Mr. Serzot, Mr.
Muzaffar, and all of our brothers in the Uzbekistan, Pak Edi,
and
Luis,
all brothers and sisters in Uzbekistan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mbak Dewi, do you still here? Oh yeah, please, Mbak Dewi.
Thank you so much, Pak Handi. Thank you also to all of the speakers and also the participants for giving so much insight, so much fruitful discussion in this event. To close this previous event, we apologize for all of the mistaken they've made, and hopefully we can see you in another event. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.